Aluminum rated. Perfect cooling system for a Cherokee, in my opinion.
I'm sorry about the noise. I'm about to burn this Jeep and just not go. So right here, I've noticed that this is leaking pretty bad. You notice back there, there's hot standing water. Can you see that? But it is pouring. See that? Yeah, hot standing water is boiling on the ground off the tailpipe. I think the rear freeze plug is busted out of the block. It turned off.
Let me do some digging. For some reason I feel like there's going to be a welcome back to the video right here, insert now. I couldn't be happier. If you remember, the motor froze and busted. Well, knock on glass. I'll knock on this one hard because it's already busted. Come here and check this out. For some reason you didn't join us last time. I kept putting water in them here and it was leaking out of the frame rail up here, which is very strange. And then there's hot steamy water. I may have seen from when it was running, hot steamy water pouring. I thought the back freeze plug was out of the motor, and it still might be, but if we can shoot, this all makes sense now. I'm gonna hold the camera very still and let me digitally zoom in. Actually, let's try this. If you look, the flow of water coming out. That's the heater core drain. So what does that mean? Our heater core is shot. Heck yeah. So obviously I don't need the heater, I'll survive. Let me bypass it and crank this thing back up. I hope. I mean, it still could be bad freeze plug. The motor froze and busted. So I'm sure the heater core froze and busted. I just didn't notice that driving home in the dark with 3 flat tires. Let me bypass the heater core real quick. All right, I got my fingers crossed, literally, full of water, and nothing's pouring hot, steamy water. So we can give her a fire up. Make sure this is good. See here, my ignition switch is just very touchy, and then. Oh yeah, the floor is full of water. That makes sense now. Okay, so I'll take that for now. Hope I don't have to put a heater core in it. Probably will. But yeah, we're leaking a lot of water in here. That makes so much sense now, because I knew this head was good, but it got pretty warm just driving up here the first time. So I was like, what could it be? Now it makes sense. It was pumping all the water out. Good there, put the screw clamp there, got a good fan on her. Good fan, good there. Huh. Pretty sure if you didn't know, you can go down through here, see how that makes a difference. Do every one of them. Now it's 50. Difference. Number one, the fuel goes in first and settles. It's always where trash settles, and you can see it doesn't make any difference. Actually, let's get a noise light just to be sure. If you didn't know, I taught a bunch of people this. If a Jeep runs long enough and misses on a cylinder, it obviously doesn't need to flood itself, so it'll cut the injector, especially on 2000, 2001. It's very often one-handed. See, we're still good here. I think it's only on 2000-ish and newer. Like, it's not gonna keep dumping fluid if the cylinder's not firing. I think I can hear the injector pulsing, so probably have to clean the rail out or just go buy another one. Yeah, we're holding to it. Whew. I was still gonna prevail through, but that was not gonna be a fun task. Yeah, still shows no oil pressure. I don't think the temp gauge works at all. Maybe the gauge is bad. 210,000. See about this steering. Ooh, might be some decent steer. I gotta get all that aligned. Yeah. All right, let's see if it'll move forward under its own power. I ain't even checked the brakes at all. Check that. It don't feel terrible. You know, it did this to me before. Why is it doing this? Oh, I bet it's a crappy ignition switch. I don't hear the fuel pump, which is crazy because last time there was a fuel pump in a bucket. Now the fuel pump's wired right. This is crazy. The fuel hand and the tach went down, which means crank sensor, usually. And it smells rich. Seems like there's just a sign out there to tell me that, see what I'm saying? I remember this. Blew a fuse. Check the fuse. What is it with this Jeep? Got my shifter in my hand. Alright, we're in park. Switch is on. Just doesn't have to be on. Which one was it? One of these here. Still don't have a way to cross the starter out. Let me get some needle nose. Alright, I feel like y'all have been there before. Let's see. 20 amp good. I think that's what it was. This fuel box thing. Fuse box maybe don't look well. Honestly does look corroded now that I said that. Oh, I know y'all can't see that. That is pretty corroded. Shoot. Let me get some contact cleaner. I still don't have the fuse cover to tell what these are. It is pretty corroded. Probably be smart just to get a different fuse. I think it was this one that was bad. It's good. Let's get a test light like this. See which one's not hot. It's weird because it is throwing symptoms of the crank sensor, but the crank sensor was doing fine. Good, 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 good. Actually, let's test them down inside there to know if they're getting the fire they need. And that'll tell us if we got corrosion issues or just a bad fuse. So that's the 20 amp it's going to come on with a key. That's the 15 amp it's going to come on with a key. I think we just checked both of those. It's good. That's the one that's corroded. I'm going to grab another 15. So I got a newer looking 15. Make sure y'all can see. Now, I need a way to spin it over. Let's just do it that way. I'm gonna go in there and spin it over. Oh, shoot. Maybe we do have a crank sensor issue after all this. Unless the one to the computer went bad. So I'm trying to think. Crank sensor will pulse the ASD. A cam sensor won't fire the injectors, if I remember right. I think I do. It was just running perfect. Let's go dump some. Hey, I got a water hose. We can just cheat. So let's see where we're at. Ignition shows on. The gauges are not showing. So that's sometimes symptom of crank sensor. Now how that works, I don't know. Usually, go down in there. So usually, for some reason, ask me how I know, I've been doing it 20 years, but if the crank sensor fails, the fuel hand and gas hand will fall to 0. I don't know, but it works. As soon as you turn the key on, the voltmeter will show, 12 volts or so. I'm gonna sit here and spray some water. Actually, I'm not gonna cut this thing, but I might speed it up. And we could just have a faulty computer. I've been doing a lot of welding, and I'll take the battery off, but the computer's still hooked up. It still needs more water. I think. Oops, wrong one. Wrong one. Wrong one. I can literally see the crank sensor. Alright, everything's still the same. Let's just see. Get a test light over in there. These come on when the motor sees that it's spinning over, which is told by the crank sensor. So I can't be in two places at once. Still not getting the crank signal. Unless the computer went bad. I don't think the computer went bad. It's 9 o'clock. Tell you what. I don't know that this ignition switch is working. I think it is. It's just very faulty. See, right now we still don't have a voltmeter. Seems like I heard the fuel pump. Why? So, let's see. But I need to fix it while it's not performing, so I don't get out on a trail and stuff be going wrong out on the trail. I said it still should do something while it's spinning over. Meaning when it spins over, it'll trigger the relays, and if the distributor doesn't pick up, it won't fire the injectors. Let's check some wiring. Key shows to be on. Alright, let me cut them and start tearing that apart. Alright, no, this is not why y'all clicked on the video, but at least want you to know what I'm doing. I got my sheet. I need to sell these right here, laminate and everything. But it tells you the basic wires that you need to know to diagnose something. Wiggling, we didn't hear nothing. So first off, we're hooked to ground. Well, we can check those. So number 2, which is that one. Does it say blue and white? Blue and white. So this should be hot while the key is turned on. And it is not. So that is our problem right there. So let's see if we got number 22, which I think is, oh, there's numbers. My eyes don't do that good no more. 22, green and black, right? Green and black. So that is hot. So we are not getting power from the key. Okay. So let's just check our grounds while we're at it. So number 31 and number 32 in the corner should be our grounds. Ground. Okay, so we need to figure out why this one is not coming on with our key that we don't have yet. It's probably just quicker for me to fix the wiring like I want to. Actually, I don't know, I kind of want to know. Let's figure this out. So we're not getting fire to number 2. Number 2 is your key. Number 22 is all-time hot. That's not grounded. Everything's crusty on this Jeep like it's been sitting out. No. weather. There we go. Number 2. Blue and white. Number 2. Ignition switch. Let's go inside. Alright, this is one of those things I was sitting there thinking, like, what if you didn't want to learn this, but I don't know. But if I made a video just about this issue right here, nobody would probably click on it. So it's just my philosophy. I put it in the middle. Man, it's not like I'm staging it. It's just, yeah. So if I remember right, actually I don't know these. Yellow is a starter, I know that. And then I think red is going to be positive. So blue, I think, is the ignition. It shows hot. One of them's the ignition for the cab, and one of them's ignition for the under the hood. So the under the hood is not coming on. I don't know off the top of my head which color it is. I thought it was blue. I think we got a piece of wire. So I got me a wire that is just a hot. Let's see. Yellow is the key. Blue is hot. Unless it's broke. I don't think it is. Black and orange? Don't spark. Hold on. So it's wired right. So I bet where I was beating the fender in down there is where we broke a connection. Hot dog, okay. Let's keep investigating. So I was beating the fenders in, if you knew, and right down here is ironically what I was arguing on the forums last night. So yeah, I bet our power comes into that and then gets sent back out here, which it is not. And that makes me wonder, because if you remember, I posted on the Jeep page that I think that's a body control module, and the internet just roasted me saying it wasn't. But if this thing has sit out here and got wet and went bad, there is something in it that is not triggering to turn the computer on, which in my opinion makes it a module. Let me put the camera down and figure out what's going on, and then of course I'll teach you. But it's sending power from the ignition switch, and this is where the junction block is. I understand that, but I still feel like there's something in there, and it's not sending power, you know, out this big main wiring harness, wherever it comes from, here to where it needs to go. So let me investigate. I don't think I have diagrams on hand if I need that, but we're gonna learn. I don't even know what to say. It's been about an hour since last seen. And yes, I was dead wrong. This thing is literally just a bunch of these things that transfers electricity from one part to another, and it flips over with another layer, and then with another layer, and with another layer, and all of them just, yeah, delivers power. So got it out, and of course I get confused. I'm not good with like diagrams and stuff like that. And I was like, just sitting there wondering, I was like, there's nothing to go wrong in here. There's what it says. It's just a bunch of junctions. Now it does have transmission fluid on it, which I think is fixing to tell you what I'm fixing to tell you. So I went and looked for one, and I know you don't care, but we're back there reorganizing, trying to get better with the website and stuff. And I couldn't find one. I come back, I was like, what if there's nothing to go wrong? What if it was a fuse? What if it was a fuse? So I go down through here, get my light, and I finally find this one's bad. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I Google, because Cherokees don't have it, and away ad. Why do we want to? What even is that? Dang it. Okay, so if you want to read, that's not it. That's the interior. No, that was it. Yeah, number 11 is a 20 amp, and I don't think y'all can't read my phone, can you? Or can you? Number 11, transmission control module, powertrain component module, automatic shutdown relay, and fuel pump relay out for fuel pump relay. I said the fuel pump wasn't working, and it's like the computer wasn't turning on. I just did all this crap for a fuse. Oh my gosh. So obviously I can't get that thing put back together. And it's 10 o'clock at night, it's dark. I have one out there somewhere in the boxes of stuff that we got boxed up doing all this moving stuff. So tomorrow I'm gonna finish my wife's Jeep, honestly. But yeah, I put this all back together and I think it blew a fuse because of oil conducting between those plates right there. Because in my argument, not really argument, in my question, the ZJs have the same thing and they're known for, if you get them wet, the gauges will quit working. Like that box right there. So I thought it was a module. I don't care to admit it, I was wrong. But evidently it's not. But I guess just between those plates, or not plates, we'll call them plates, that they get water or something. And yeah, blowed fuse. That's all it was. I guess when I put it in reverse, it just tweaked the chassis. I don't know, man. So, yeah. Guess I can turn my ignition off. And we'll finish this up in the morning. Here we go. Alright, I got the body control module there. Went and found a fresh one that I just listed on my website. Turns out I'm gonna be the first purchaser. Let's see if we can get this thing running. Alright, it seems like I missed a few plugs, but I'm not too concerned. I just want to see if a blowed fuse was the problem. Alright, let's see, where was we at last night? Grounded. Number 22, and then number 2 was our ignition. So let's turn on our new ignition switch we have. Start to say still no gauges, but that makes sense because it's not plugged up. We now have power. So there's a fuse. Awesome. Plug this back up to our computer. Zip tie it later. There's that. Now, there's that. So all we did is changed a fuse, basically. I heard the fuel pump. I ain't even gonna say anything. Just happy it runs. Happy it happened here. Not somewhere else. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the downfall of mechanics is they can't just look at the simple stuff. They like, maybe it's the cathode or the blah blah blah. I can't say it was a fuse the whole time. Fuse. I'm fit to take a vacation, but I want to see if I can make this thing run just a pinch better before I leave, just to feel a little better. Let me change the injectors. Alright, I pulled the injectors off. This one seems to not be a factory one. I don't think that's why it's not working. Well, I mean, it is why it's probably not working. It's aftermarket. So I went and to my local junkyard, got a factory fuel rail, which I do sell on website. So I've changed legit nothing. Let's see what happens. And I've got a custom intake just so y'all don't have to listen to some ridiculous noise. So load fuse is working better. Let's see, y'all probably won't be out here. sucks, but I took all that exhaust off just to make sure y'all didn't have a crappy sounding exhaust system. Alright, well, I'm gonna take my vacation and then we'll work on this thing when I get back. At least I can go on vacation knowing that it runs good. Needed a fuse. Yeah. Be right back. I don't know why I'm taking a vacation. I need to finish this. It's 9:26 if y'all can see. And I've got just a few days to finish this thing. And even though it's close, I'm telling you there's a lot more work than you can tell left to go. Alright, it is Sunday. Doesn't really matter. It's Sunday at 10 o'clock. And I'm starting to realize that I'm running out of time. I'm starting to realize that. Still got time. This stuff just takes time. So I didn't pick up the camera none tonight. We've got our winch. I got some wire from where I put the air conditioner in my shop. And then I've got a $27, $26 winch controller. You can see it's just a cheap one, but it does the job. It's actually pretty dang fast. So I may not do nothing at all. Let's just be honest. And me and my wife was talking tonight. We're starting to be concerned. What if somebody just buys this thing just because of it's mine? That's just flat out. Just leave it at that. So now I'm concerned. I don't want to sell it because I want to give it away. And there's tons more I want to do to the thing because I'm pretty involved in this thing. There's not a lot of money. I mean, y'all might see it different than I do. $100 radiator. What, $200 set of bead locks, $200 set of tires. There's nothing big money here, but it is going to add up. But I wanted to give away something that was worth giving away. Just be patient on that part. So if you ever know, I never try to run a stock intake. I prefer a stock intake over a cone filter sitting right here collecting hot air off the exhaust and then getting splashed with water. So again, I'm trying to keep these areas clean in case it gets bashed in for reliability. So usually, typically, I'll run it over and then in that area right there. Well, I have like some turbo kit leftover stuff I was going to use, and then I just realized like you can't do that. It looks good. It's cheap. It looks good. So then I went back to the shop. Well, I looked in the back seat. This is the intake I was working with from the get-go. No idea. They're definitely more hack job than I am, but anyway, I went and got some plumbing, PVC stuff, and this is what I come up with. If we have budget left over, I'm gonna get a new air filter, but this is just some toilet plumbing, maybe. So it's gonna butt up there and it's gonna stick over in that hole, and it's budget. And then PCV system, if you know how they work, this is not exactly how I want it to be run, but this motor seems to have a little blow by. We'll get to there. So I did leave this vacuum. If you ever flip one over and it sits the perfect angle, it'll fill the intake full of oil, and you crank it and then it hydrolocks and slings a rod. Ask me how I know. I've done it a few times. So typically I get rid of that and just run a hose over, but this is kind of a happy medium build. So I've got this hose now, which is producing blow by, and I was on a budget, so I went and got the radiator hose that I have removed from here, and I've got a clamp, and then yeah, I got another scuff pad just duct taped onto there. So I'm gonna sit it right close to the filter. Hopefully it'll pull the vacuum or the blow by through the motor. And I got a hood. It's not the original hood, but if you look on this side, it dang near looks like the original hood. Probably in the morning I'm gonna put this bodywork back on, get this thing looking back like it should, and then we gotta start cranking down. Miller's not just a ton, but it's gonna be there. So we got ignition switch, obviously we got lights and all the cool stuff and doors, and weld this stuff on, and yeah. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Alright, next day, 7 o'clock if you know me. I want to put the fenders on, but I can't put the fenders on until I put the doors. So all this gankly stuff here, I gotta get it fixed. We ain't worried about those buttons. I can't put the front cap on until I put the fenders. So pretty much done under the hood, pretty much. Gotta glue the intake, zip tie it, overflow, hose, nothing major. And I really want to work on the roll cage first. I've had an 1.5 inch die ordered for approximately 2 months now, waiting on this freaking project. So the struggles you don't see. Got to mount the battery. That's pretty self-explanatory, but this is what I'm working on. This is the only one out of, well, I looked through my row of parted out Jeeps, and this is the only one with the old school hinges. If you know what they are, you know what they are, and not the new 9801, I guess. So these are the doors I need. They have electric windows, which you'll see at some point why I chose those. They're pretty straight. Let's see. This fender's got a wave. I got to pull the fender off to get the door off. I think there's one wave about right there, so I guarantee you the Jeep's gonna get scratched up. I'm not gonna time lapse that. You can see it's dark. I'm gonna try to get those cut off, and like I said, I need the hinges, so I'm thinking, I hate to take the bolts out just to get the hinges off, so can't get a grinder in there. I'm hoping I can plasma cut this and not catch fire. I looked on this one. So crazy, I'm fixing something, somebody ripped the doors off. Now I'm trying to put doors back on the thing, but anyway, inside of here is all metal. That's all metal besides these wires here. That's all, well, that'll be rubber there, but again, that's all metal, so I don't think it's a fire hazard. So I'm not gonna time lapse it, but I'm gonna see if I can get those doors cut off, start going back together this, or at least get some doors put on this thing. So let me try to knock that out. For some reason, if you're doing this at home and you got a junk Jeep like that, like I said, I've just plasma cut way too much out, and then I come up here and whittled it down to what I thought that I needed. And it's kind of hard to explain, but it's easier to cut too much and then add back because there's like a void that it's got to fall down into. It's on there. I keep forgetting how wrecked this Jeep is. If you look down here, underneath here, there's a gap we got to do something with. Well, we don't have to, but eventually I'm going to, not yet. But you can see I got a block of wood trying to jack this up, trying to give me a nice tight door gap there where we don't have wind noise. I got it pulled in right there and got a little closer than I wanted. But yeah, I'm gonna sit the camera down, undo this stuff, and see if it opens for the first time. I don't need this. Probably gonna have to get a bolt to lay under there, take up a gap. Excuse me. Let's see that's here, that stayed. And wow, this is the first time. What? No way. It shuts good. I mean, it could be better. I'm not even mad. That's pretty good. Alright, well I got a big gap. Well, I can show you the gap. Ooh. Ooh. Big gap. I think where I was trying to, yeah, anyways, you can see there's a big gap there. So maybe, I think I can take that metal down there and beat it around and put a good weld. And yeah, it should stay on there, but check this out. It's got a door, and I ain't a body man by no means, but I'm gonna get both those knocked out. And then I don't know what. Fenders, front clip, side of yada yada yada. Alright, I'll be back. Ta-da! Check this out. That's actually pretty nice. Camera focus, top and bottom welds. If you notice, that is a wood bolt. I needed some gap filler. And if you don't know, if you've ever welded to a Cherokee in certain spots, it's two pieces of metal spot welded together, so it gets very nasty in between those two, probably rust and corrosion. So as you're welding on the top layer, if it ever burns through, it just explodes in, I don't know, curiosity, something. So, it's tricky. I ain't opened it, let's check it out. Sorry about whatever the TV's playing. What? I should go into body weld. I ain't welded the inside, it's the first time I've opened it. I gotta adjust the screw there, but look at that. That's not bad for an absolute just a hack job as you could be. Body person. Got a good clearance there, pretty even. Little wide there, but it'll be alright. This is eventually gonna start touching. Yeah, that's common on Cherokee. Don't ask me why. It's like this door shrinks. This gap gets bigger, and all the other gaps are fine. I don't know. I'm gonna finish welding it. Call it a night. 9 o'clock. Not part of the video, but let gonna go sit y'all there for a second. How about this angle? This is just an overflow jug. I think the hose is even stopped up. Sure enough. I'm trying to clean this jug out, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, stopped completely up. Steering dirty. Alright, I'll see y'all in the morning. I'm gonna put the body panels on in the morning. Insert these seams randomly. Alright, I'm putting the front clip on 2 things. Brand new radiator, this was not tight, including the 9/16 where it's nylon threaded and the drain itself. So I got those tight. And if somebody's worried about these wires getting pinched, I just didn't want to risk them getting into the fan back here. And also, they're not carrying any current unless you hit the button. So if this gets smashed, it's not gonna hurt anything at all. So yeah, got the fenders on, gonna put the front clip on, see if we can get this thing. I'm just not satisfied with this anti-squat, so I gotta figure that out, but we gotta do some trimming. Here we go. In shorts. Much better. All right, I'm starting to, well, I got a front clip on, you can tell that. I got the bumper mounted. Got a custom winch hole, that's some stuff there. I think the only thing I like under the hood is coolant and the fan. The fan was on when I plugged it up, but I haven't really, that's easy stuff. That's easy stuff. And I did opt out and I got the air filter. I got to thinking it has been a drought here. So if we're trailing each other up there, I'm gonna need a good air filter. I'm probably gonna get a sock to go over it too. But my dilemma is, that ain't sitting right. And I'm still kind of agitated by it. But I think I took out V8 springs and put in 4 cylinders, or maybe TJs. So if you look right out there, the camera won't focus. I got me a new set of 52 thousandths thick springs, and I got those spacers I never did put in. We're gonna put them in there to make sure this thing's sitting. But yeah, we've got doors that work. The thing is squatted in the front end, but cut all the fenders out. And I did glue all my custom intake. It's hanging on. And then the blow by, I really want it like there, right there, close to the air filter, but I think it'll be all right. So yeah, that's about it under the hood. Let's see if the hood shuts. Make sure your cable's hooked up to your leaf. Honestly, you should probably try it before this. Whatever. It's perfect. Wow. I swear the Jeeps you care less about come out so great. You can probably tighten up some gaps over there, but it's gonna be alright. Yep. Look at that. Got herself some cherry. And keep in mind, cosmetics, I'm trying to keep them at a bare minimum. So nobody buys these things. I'm gonna put those springs in, get this thing sitting where it's not, every time I look at it, I get agitated, so let me fix that. All right, I'm not gonna touch the camera, but let's see, these things are good for 5/8 of an inch of lift. So I got an extra set for both sides, and then go ahead those. I got a set of what I think is 4.0 XJ springs, about 52 thousandths thick. So I'm gonna see what just a set of springs will change, and the camera's gonna stay right there. All right, the camera has not moved. Let me shut the door. Hopefully this is where I wanted it to sit originally. Get my fingers crossed. All I did is change the springs, one little space. Yeah. I think that's honestly about right. It's just I'm not used to a 35. Sweet. So I was sitting here wondering, I think the next thing I want to do, pull it forward, tighten the bolts up, get everything cinched up tight, and get the steering and all that aligned. And I guess I should drive the thing. That really makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna pull it forward, get the toes set, get all the bushings tightened up, track bar, all the control arm bushings tightened. And I keep seeing drips of water, and I keep remembering that the motor is busted and it's JB welded. So we need to drive around with a pressure cap, see what this thing's gonna do, because I hope I don't have to change a motor. I hope I don't have to change a motor. I might. We'll see. We'll tighten some bolts up. So
tell me who's your house man. How do you smoke so good?
Most definitely starting to look like a Jeep. So literally today, the dye that I've been waiting on for over a month and a half come in for this thing. So of course it's dark, I got busy. I just want to drive it around. Found out, I'm pretty sure the water pump's leaking. I knew that. I mean, I should have done a water pump, but you can see there's a spot. So what I did, I put a little dab of soapy water in with it. So I'm just going to see if we can cruise around, just hit a block, get some stuff, and I'll put the water pump on in the morning, and along with gutting this thing. Check this out. Oh, come on now, do better. Yeah, I did not put those shocks on, just FYI. Somebody's going to say something about budget, but wait till I get some light to show you what I got going on. Hey, look at this camera go. Some baling wire. Yeah, stuff. I don't know if the camera's focused yet. Hatch actually shuts pretty good. Still don't have an oil pressure gauge. Still don't have an oil pressure gauge, which, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to do anything about it, but still don't have this switch figured out. Still don't have that. Still smells like a fire in here. Let's see. I remember right, we got, looks like both headlights. Let's just check the tail light for giggles. Yep, got that one. Tag light works, that one works. Brakes are pretty spongy, actually really spongy, but we're gonna see if it just cruise around, get some stuff circulated. Got everything looking better, water pump's leaking. Still don't know what that teeth noise is. Yeah, water pump's leaking pretty bad now. That burn. But that's what going to Windrock. I don't know if you've ever been there. You could be literally 20, 30, 40 miles on a bumpy off-road trail from civilization. So as junky as this thing is, it's got to be, shoot, reliable. Hold on. I think since the tires are so inset and they're really skinny, I know it's just sitting there, but it feels like it's going to have pretty good steering. We'll see. Shoot, I need some gas too. That's my goal, to go get gas. I got a gas pump on my property. Alright, better grab a fully charged light because we don't know. Oh, look at that. Wow. First time that's happened. Then we'll grab another light just in case. And we'll probably grab my phone. Alright, let's head out. Still got some holes in the floorboard. You know, still got a lot of stuff, honestly. I don't know if y'all can see the brake pedal. Carpet's a mess. It's got them, but they're pretty spongy. I don't really know why yet. No oil pressure. Not bad brakes, they just need broke in, I guess. Feels like only the front grabbing too. This hunk of junk is backing out of the shop. I knew this day would come, I just never actually expected it. Oh, come on now. Alright, there goes second gear. Oh my gosh, the freaking battery died. I'm just trying to get anything that's gonna go wrong to show up. Oil pressure gauge, temperature gauge still. I don't know about it, man. Been driving around the alternators, it looks like it's acting up again. I can fuel hinge. What? The fuel hinge just started working and I got that crap on camera. What are the odds of that? Yep, no alternator. Man, honestly, I could check the check engine light just to see what it says. The water pump now is not leaking, but I can't trust it to go. I did change the alternator and I did change the water pump. As soon as you plug the computer up, we got two codes. That it's negative 40 coolant temperature. That's weird. I mean, I can crank it up. There's nothing to see. It just thinks it's negative 40. So if the PCM was bad because the Jeep was flipped over this way and probably got rained on, you're not making a connection. It's gonna work. That's crazy. 3 minutes. I mean, for $27, that's cheaper than any switch you can buy for anything. All right, let's go for a test drive. I'm gonna throw a paint your ass. Like the first time I've ever driven this thing at all. I'll get a little flex. We got her flexed out. I told myself I wasn't gonna do this, but let's get it over with. So it's like trying to run hot and the alternator's going out. This is gonna be an epic adventure. Update, alternator, I guess is checked out. Temperature's climbing. What the god dang it. Alright, so this is freaking gravy. It's boiling over hot. So the alternator went out, so the alternator's not charging. And I'm just sitting here racking my brain like, why is this thing running hot? I don't understand. So literally I have no time. I'm gonna start working on the cage. That's all I can do. Have a good day. Not me. I'm not having a good day. Hope you do.